2026 doesn't even feel like a real year right now, but why not look ahead and rank the movies coming out in that made-up year? What's going on, guys? I'm Chris and welcome back to another video. So today I'm doing a way too early ranking of all the movies slated to release in 2026 based on my excitement. I like to do these way too early videos and I like to follow them in college football, so I always have fun translating it over into movies somehow, and with 2026 being 2 years away, I figured why not talk about all the movies we got coming out. You know, news is always changing. Doomsday just got announced to come out this year, so I'll talk about it on this list. Before I dive into this, let me know your most anticipated way too early 2026 movie. Hit that like button and of course subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. And if you want exclusive content such as reaction videos, commentary tracks, live Q&As, you can get that over on my Patreon. Any support over there means the world and goes a very long way. Without further ado, let's rank these movies. All right, so these are fully randomized. I've got about 20 or so movies that are coming out in 2026 as of right now. Again, a lot of these could probably get delayed. And some of these movies don't have an official set in stone 2026 release date, but there's heavy speculation that's when they will drop. The first on this list is Mando and Grogu, which is the first Star Wars film to hit theaters since The Rise of Skywalker. It makes no sense to me. I could make a whole video rant about how Star Wars has mishandled theatrical releases versus Disney Plus shows. Topic for another time. Mando and Grogu, I'm on. It's not that I fully don't care, that's why it's in that tier, but I really just don't feel as though the hype is there anymore for these two characters, especially after season 3 of The Mandalorian, which is consensus the worst season of that show. I just don't feel like this is the right move. I feel like the ship has sailed for a Mando and Grogu movie. Maybe if they made this instead of season 3, the hype would be there, because the end of season 2, the hype was through the roof. But now it's like, what story is there really to tell? Mando and Grogu almost took a back seat in their own season in season 3, so I'm very hesitant about this. How much involvement will Pedro Pascal actually have? What story is there to tell? I don't know. It's like they think it's going to be a surefire hit, but that could backfire on them. Moving on, we've got Toy Story 5, which I would say I don't care about, but honestly, I'm kind of curious to see what route they go, so I'll put it there right now. I thought Toy Story 4 was by far the weakest. I thought Toy Story 3 is the perfect ending point for that trilogy. Why taint that? Toy Story 4, more of an epilogue for Woody, not really a Toy Story. This movie, who's going to be in it? Is Woody even going to be in the film, or is it just going to be Buzz and the rest of the gang? I have no clue what route they're headed. I think this is a desperate move to say, hey, let's get another billion-dollar film in our books, but I'm curious still to see what story they tell, because at the end of the day, it is Toy Story. They have 3 fantastic movies, 1 movie. I think Toy Story 5, I'm very curious to see what story they present. I'll be able to tell pretty early on in the marketing if I'm going to like this one or not. I'll give it a shot, of course, when it comes out, but will it come off as pure desperation, or will there be an actual important story to tell? Next, we have Shrek 5. When it comes to Shrek, I've only seen the first 2 films. I haven't seen any of the spin-offs. I haven't seen any of the sequels. I've heard that I only need to watch the first 2. I will rectify that before Shrek 5. This movie will light it up at the box office, I believe. I mean, Shrek has had a huge following for a while. It's one of DreamWorks' biggest franchises, no doubt about it. For Shrek 5, I'm going to put that in the I'm curious tier, probably behind Toy Story 5, just because I need to watch Shrek the Third, Shrek Forever After, Puss in Boots Last Wish. I got a lot of homework to do, but I'm still curious to see what a 5th Shrek film could do. More so curious to see what box office return that one's going to have, especially in the year 2025. Next, we have Avengers Doomsday. I did a video recently talking about MCU projects in development, all of them. I'll put a link up above, and I put this in I'm curious because I can't say I'm outright excited, and I stand by that. I gotta stand by that. I'm putting it at the top of I'm curious. You got RDJ as Dr. Doom. My big question mark with this movie is, who are the Avengers? Are they just using the Avengers title to try and make $1 billion, $2 billion? Or is there actually a squad that's going to be assembled soon in the MCU? Because if so, that needs to be happening now. The Infinity Saga did a great job of establishing a team. Each movie in phase 1, 2, and 3 bled into the next, and there was some carryover, so we knew who the Avengers were. There's no Avengers team right now. We have a bunch of individual heroes, but we haven't really seen them come together or a reason for them to come together. Also, is Dr. Doom just going to be introduced in this movie? Seemingly, RDJ is not going to appear anywhere else, it seems. So why would we feel that attachment to a villain, unlike with Thanos, who was sort of teased over various films and brief appearances or post-credit scenes? His presence was felt early on in the MCU, whereas with Doom, we don't know much about the version they're going to go with. So I am curious to see how they handle this. You got the Russos directing, but I can't say I'm outright excited for Doomsday. I gotta see the next batch of MCU projects and how they lead up to it before I can say I'm outright excited. Next, we have a movie that I don't give a shit about. That is the Transformers G.I. Joe movie. At the end of Transformers Rise of the Beast, they teased this. It was absolutely ridiculous. I don't care about this movie at all. I don't care about it. I might not even see it. G.I. Joe has put out a lot of movies over the years. Transformers has done the same. So why not combine and just make one big toilet bowl movie? That's the vision I get here. I have no clue who really is excited for this. More power to you if you are, but who asked for this, especially with G.I. Joe? I feel like the ship has sailed and then some for G.I. Joe craze. That was like 2010. I don't know what's going on. Don't care. Next, we have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow with Millie Alcock as Supergirl. I would say I'm real curious to see this one. I'll put it behind Avengers Doomsday because Millie Alcock was great in House of the Dragon. That's the only thing I've ever seen her in. She plays Rhaenyra, young Rhaenyra, in the first season. I am curious, and a lot of my excitement for future DC projects is riding on Superman, which comes out next summer. If that movie's a hit, and it seems like they're, headed in the right direction with the DC Universe, then I could get on board with this one. But for now, I can't be too excited. I just have to see what the vibe, what's the tone of this new DC Universe. Is it all James Gunn's vision? I mean, I gotta see a movie and kind of dip my toe in the water before I can full on say I'm outright excited for an upcoming movie. Next, we've got Jordan Peele's next film. Again, curious about this one. I'm gonna put it right here. I liked Get Out quite a bit. I think it's his best movie. I wish it won Best Picture, frankly. Us was a fan of at the time, haven't gone back to it in forever, but very dark movie. I think it's his scariest film for me. Nope, wasn't crazy about. I know that's become a hot take to say, but it just didn't land for me. I am curious to see what concept he has next. He's got some fantastic original concepts. A lot of his films are thinkers, where you have to really read into the deeper meaning of the films. Who's going to be cast in this film? Frankly, that might be out. I haven't done enough research on it, but the movie's going to come out in 2026. It's Jordan Peele. I'll be there. Everyone will be, right? But will it reach the heights of Get Out? I don't know. Then we've got Avatar. I believe this is called Aang, The Last Airbender. Someone correct me down below if I'm wrong about this, but I believe this is a continuation of the animated series from Nickelodeon. They have the live-action film directed by M. Night. That's like a one-off type thing. You've got the live-action series on Netflix that's a remake. This is a continuation of the original story in animated form. We see Aang grown up, the rest of the gang all grown up. I haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender since childhood. I watched it as it came out, so I can't say I'm even excited for this or curious. Like, I won't say I don't care, but I'll put it in the tier. A lot of that is because I just am so disconnected from Avatar. Like, I've genuinely not gone back to this show in over a decade, so it's hard for me to get excited. I'm not saying I don't care about it. I'm just saying I don't have a reason to be like excited or even curious because I have to rewatch that original show. Next, we have an untitled Star Wars film. We don't know what's going on with this. It's slated to release in December of 2026. We don't know what's going to happen with it, and frankly, I don't think it's going to come out. But I don't care. I don't care right now. I'm going to put it at the bottom. I just don't care because there's no reason for me to. Star Wars, the name Star Wars doesn't get me as excited as it once did. It's just, it's sad. It's a sad reality I've had to face. Like, it's been watered down to me over the years with Disney Plus shows, with the sequels. It just doesn't mean as much to me anymore. There have been so many Star Wars movies with different creatives attached that have just fallen off. You had Damon Lindelof at one point, I believe. You had D&D from Game of Thrones. You got Sean Levy in the works, Taika Waititi, the Patty Jenkins film, right? There are so many movies from Star Wars that are promised and then never release. And so I just don't care anymore. Why should I? Next, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I have not seen the first of this. I definitely think I'll try and watch Mutant Mayhem before the sequel comes out, but I'll put it at the back of it just because, I don't know. I've never been a huge TMNT guy, but I'm familiar with the characters, and I'm aware with, what the Turtles are all about. Pizza, come on now. Next, we have Frozen 3, which I don't care about. I'm going to put it actually right in the middle of don't care. Wasn't a fan of Frozen 2. I like Frozen, the first film. I think it's very solid, a little overrated if anything, but it's very solid. I genuinely just don't care about a third film. I think it's the same type of thing where there's not a story to tell, but it's $1 billion waiting to happen, so Disney's going to do it. I just don't care. There's nothing else to say there. Next, we have The Dish. For those of you who are like, what the hell is The Dish? Is it a movie about Dawn soap or maybe the invention of the Scrub Daddy? No. This is about UFOs, about aliens. And why am I excited for it? Who's directing? Steven Spielberg. It's an original concept from Spielberg. The screenwriter of the original Jurassic Park is penning the script, and we've got Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor starring in the film. All of that sounds like a match made in heaven. It's got a May release. We haven't had an original Spielberg film with like sci-fi appeal in a while. He obviously did West Side Story, which is a musical remake, The Fabelmans, sort of loosely based on his own life journey. This I am excited for. I'm going to put it at the top of I'm excited. A new Spielberg film, I'm always going to be intrigued, right? But Spielberg doing a alien UFO film with the creative team they have attached to it, hell yes, I'm excited for this one. Next, we have The Cat in the Hat. The reason I have this picture of Bill Hader playing him on SNL is because he's voicing the Cat in the Hat, and I believe it's an animated film similar to the Grinch film that we got with Benedict Cumberbatch. I would say I don't care about this movie, but Bill Hader, you gotta love the guy. I mean, he's Barry, for Christ's sake, and he's hilarious in like every comedy he shows up in. I'll put it in I'll actually say like the back of you know, it's a Cat in the Hat movie. It's probably gonna make money because why not? It's such an iconic children's book, but Bill Hader, you're the reason it's not an don't care. Next, we have Lord of the Rings of A Hunt for Gollum, which I honestly am excited for. I'm gonna put this behind the dish, but I'm surprisingly excited for this film. Andy Serkis is reprising the role of Gollum. I don't know when this takes place in the Lord of the Rings timeline, but I don't care. It's a new Lord of the Rings film. I have to be excited for that. I have to be. The trilogy's all-time great stuff. It's not a trilogy that I revisit as much as I wish I did, but I've actually seen the trilogy twice within the past few years, and it's fantastic. It's really just like the pinnacle of filmmaking in many ways. Like, I understand the hype. I get the hype. The world is so immersive. It has some of the best battles I've ever seen on the big screen. To go back into this world, why the hell not? Of course I'm excited. What do you have cooked up? Let's see it. It's a new Lord of the Rings film. You could go the Hobbit route where it's like fine. It's like it's good to fine, but I really do think with Serkis involved, I got a good feeling about this one. Next we have Dune Messiah. Ooh, Chris is talking about Dune. Ooh, I know. This is not officially set in stone for 2026 just yet, but I believe Denis Villeneuve's next movie is, and it's pretty much likely to be this. So honestly, this is coming out, I think, in December of 2026 from what I've read. I could be wrong. Don't shoot the messenger. I liked the first Dune. When I rewatched it leading up to Dune Part 2, I really appreciated it a lot more. I thought the movie was wildly overhyped upon release. Liked it more when I was removed from the hype. Dune Part 2 I've seen once, and I was in the minority by a lot. I didn't think it was the cinematic masterpiece or achievement that many did. Technically speaking, yes, it's one of the best looking movies I've seen. The score is great. I'm not going to argue about that. It just doesn't click for me like it does for others, and I get that. And that's fine. That's, you know, a lot of people have those movies. So I will rewatch Dune Part 2 before Messiah, likely in 2026, the later part of 2026. But I wouldn't say I don't care. That would be a little harsh. Because I'm curious to see, will they reach a final point in this story? Will they end the story? Or will they continue to have movies that sort of blue ball you right before the credits roll? I'll put it at the top of just because, like, I'll watch it, but it's almost out of obligation, frankly. It's not the Avatar route. Don't get it twisted. It's not like Avatar where I like actively kind of hate them. I just think the Dune hype train, I miss the train. I'm not on the train, and that's fine. I'm an outlier. I fully get that, but I'm not going to lie and say I love it. Just to say I love it, just to fit in. I'm going to be true to my guns. I have reviews. I have tons of videos on Dune. I don't want to talk about it right now, but go watch them if you want like my full thoughts, but I'll say and I'm sure I'll get 30 comments telling me why I'm a moron. Anyway, next we have The Hunger Games, The Sunrise on the Reaping. Very excited for this movie. In fact, I'm gonna put it at the damn near the top. I'm gonna put The Dish over it because it's an original Spielberg film. But The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping is going to be based on a novel that Suzanne Collins is releasing, I want to say in March of 2025, and it's focusing on Haymitch's games. Haymitch being the mentor to Katniss and Peeta in the first Hunger Games. Haymitch is a great character played by Woody Harrelson. We don't know who's playing Haymitch yet, but there's a fascinating story to explore here. I really liked Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's one of my favorite movies of 2023. To go back into this world, bring it on. I'm ready. I bet the score is going to be chill-inducing. I hope that Tom Blythe plays an aged-up version of President Snow here. But bring it on. I'm down to explore this Hunger Games world forever. I think, you know, the first 4 films, I grew up watching them every year. It was a big deal to go to the theater, see them. So I always have a special spot in my heart for the Hunger Games, and I'm very excited for Haymitch's games. Next, we have Masters of the Universe, which I'm aware is a big IP. I'm aware has, you know, fans. I'm not one of them. I've never, and it's nothing against Masters of the Universe. I've just never explored Masters of the Universe. I believe was a show, a movie, a game series. I don't know. I really don't know much about it. I think it was an arcade game in Stranger Things, frankly. I don't care. I'm going to put it at the, not the back. I would still want to watch it over these two movies probably. But I really just don't care because I don't know enough about it. But what do I care about the most on this list? The Batman Part 2. I need this movie now. I need it now. I need this movie yesterday. I love The Batman. It is my favorite Batman movie. It's my favorite Batman movie right now, over The Dark Knight, over The Dark Knight Rises. Blasphemous to some, but I still love The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, obviously. I thought The Batman was so phenomenal, and it came out in March of 2022. This movie's going to come out late 2026, so over 4 years, we're going to have to wait, which sucks, but what can you do, really? You know, what can you do? I just hope this movie's great. I would love for us to have another Batman trilogy that's amazing, and I'm so excited to see the continuation of Pattinson in this role. I hope that we see his Bruce Wayne evolve, his Batman evolve, what villain is going to be in this film, what is Matt Reeves going to cook. He's a mastermind. We've seen that in Dawn and War, both the Apes films. The Batman, obviously. I mean, the man doesn't miss, in my mind, from what I've seen from him. I say bring it on. I need this movie now. It's my most anticipated, one of, for the foreseeable future. Need this movie now. Next, we have Mike Flanagan's Exorcist film, which does not have a name on IMDb. I also, forgive me, don't know if this is even connected to the new trilogy that they were going to do. David Gordon Green's film, The Exorcist Believer, I think. I'll put it in because I've never seen an Exorcist film. My choice. I don't want to. I dabble in horror, right? I do, but that kind of horror, Exorcist specifically, I'm like, I don't know if I want to play with that. But I've seen The Conjuring, I've seen Insidious, you know, I like those movies quite a bit. I just don't want to watch The Exorcist. I'll put it in I'll put it like right here. I gotta respect the guy that I haven't even watched much of his stuff, if any. But I know that he's so well respected and held in such high regard in the horror community that when I do explore more of his work, which is coming, it's coming. I'm probably gonna watch Hill House this October. I will definitely probably be more excited to watch more of his stuff. So I don't know, but you never know. I could probably watch some of his stuff and maybe even catch up on the Exorcist movies one day. There's no guarantee I never watch them. Next, we have the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2, which I don't care, but I'll put it at the top of don't care just because, like, I didn't despise the first movie. I just thought it was blatant Nintendo product placement for however long the movie was without really telling a compelling story. And so it was just like, this is like empty emotionally, and it's just flashy. Here's Mario Kart, here's this from Nintendo, here's this character, and it felt so artificial to me. I didn't care for it, so I'm not really excited for or don't care for the next movie. And the last one on this list is Moana 2. Just kidding. The live action Moana. Moana 2 comes out this year. This is Moana live action. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Maui in live action form. I feel like this one doesn't deserve a live action remake yet. I don't think anything needs a live action remake, but it just came out in 2016. A sequel animated is coming out this year, and then the year after we're getting a live action. People are going to be confused. I'm going to say, I'll put it right here, though. Honestly, actually at the back of that. Like, because we have Moana and Moana 2, why are we even making this movie? Why are we going through with this movie? I don't know. But yeah, that does it for my way too early ranking of the 2026 movies based on my excitement. There's a handful of projects I'm really excited for and lots where I'm like, I don't really care. We have such little that's actually already been announced for 2026 that there will be a large group of films that I can talk about when we get closer to the year for my excitement for most anticipated lists. And of course, we'll do that. I just wanted to do a way too early video to talk about what's been announced so far. It's fun, it's speculation, it's kind of just, hey, why not? You know, I like having fun with these different ideas. So let me know in the comments down below your way too early most anticipated movie of 2026. Hit that like button, of course. Subscribe to that notification bell. And if you want extra content, some reaction videos, commentary tracks, live Q&A, stuff like that, you can find that over on my Patreon. Your support over there truly does mean the world. But that'll do it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.